Thomas Bryant was going to be ruled out of today's game, but we got some bad news. Thomas Bryant is going to miss at least 3 weeks. He's going to be reevaluated after having thumb surgery. So we're not going to have Thomas Bryant for at least 3 weeks, and then in 3 weeks we'll kind of get a reevaluation and kind of find out what's going to happen with Thomas Bryant if he's going to be able to return to the team. This is just really bizarre because not only is Thomas Bryant dealing with a thumb injury and needing surgery on that thumb, so is Dennis Schroeder, right? We got the same information about Dennis Schroeder needing thumb surgery, having an injury on his thumb, and he's missing at least 3 to 4 weeks. So we have a point guard and we have a center both having the same injury and needing to miss basically the first month of the season at least. It's unfortunate. You know, these are guys that we need, that we're counting on. Thomas Bryant was starting to really come into his stride. You saw a couple nice games, a couple nice moments, him knocking down a mid-range shot, a couple three-point shots, blocking shots, just being hustle. I really liked what we were seeing from Thomas Bryant. And now, now with no Thomas Bryant for a month, now we're going to be a lot more reliant, I imagine, on Anthony Davis at the 5, which isn't good. Damian Jones, I think, is solid, but I think he's more of a quality backup guy, and he's not a guy that you want to have him play 20, 30 minutes a game. You want him to play maybe 15, 10, and then, Anthony Davis plays some 5, Thomas Bryant plays some 5, maybe even winning Gabriel in certain matchups could play some 5. Things along those lines would be nice. But look, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to these 3. These 3 we're going to go as far as these 3 are going to take us. Luckily, the first handful of games, or at least the first 3 games, Anthony Davis can play the 5. I don't really want him playing the 5 against the Timberwolves and against the Nuggets. I just don't want to see him having a bang this early on into the season with the Joker and Gobert. I'd rather see him play the 4 spot in those matchups, and so you're going to see probably Damian Jones. But now the problem is who's our big off the bench? Now I know some people are going to look at this and go, oh, that means we need a Miles Turner. That's it. Go trade for Miles Turner, all that stuff. Miles Turner is as injury prone as anybody. He's arguably more injury prone than Anthony Davis. And yes, it could be an extra body. It could be another big body, but he still doesn't solve the problem. Our problem isn't the 5 spot. Our problem is wing defense. And I just think, it would be nice to maybe have Miles Turner at the right price, but I don't think it's something that's a necessity. I think we're still going to be fine at the 5. You got Damian Jones, Anthony Davis, you got winning Gabriel. So, I think you're good there at least for, a month or so. And then Thomas Bryant hopefully comes back, gets into the swing of things, and then they'll be in good position. It's just Thomas Bryant just provides so much, right? He provides the floor spacing. Not only does he provide the floor spacing, but he high energy, he could block shots, grab rebounds. The guy's had 2020 games and stuff. So I thought he could be a really big contributor. And it kind of came out of left field, right? We didn't really hear anything about this whole injury situation. And then all of a sudden, it's today we get the news that he's had the same injury as Dennis Schroeder and that they both had to have surgery and they're both going to miss at least a month. It's rough. It's not what you want to see with this Laker team. It's not how you want to start the season, right? You don't want to have injuries already. But, to be fair, I'd rather get the injuries now and out of the way. Knock on wood. Hopefully you don't have major significant injuries all season. But, if you had to pick a time to have injuries and have guys come back, it would be the beginning of the season, right? Get the injuries out of the way for these guys and then come back and then kind of get back into health, get back into everything. That, I think, is important. My only concern is that, you don't want to see, consistent injuries. You don't want to see injuries to these guys and they kind of rush themselves back or they end up continuously getting hurt this season. Hopefully we can weather the storm. I don't think Thomas Bryant is going to be such a huge factor. I don't think it's we got Thomas Bryant, we're a championship contender now. I do think he moves the needle. I do think he helps this team in the win-loss columns, but I don't think he's that big of an impact. I think he could have those games here and there. He could have a monstrous, 20 and 15 game. He's done it before. So it's okay, I could see that being an impactful game. But in general, I just think he's a solid body that helps on both sides of the court that the Lakers really need. The Lakers need those kinds of things. And I think losing him is it's a tough blow. But rather now than throughout the season. luckily this was just a thumb issue and it wasn't, because you got to remember he's coming off of a significant injury that ended his season last year. And so for him to come back and if it was like a knee or ankle or foot injury like on that same leg, like then I think it would be a little bit of a problem, but it wasn't. It's just a thumb injury. I mean, obviously you don't want thumb injury, especially as a big man, because a lot of his shots are going to be coming on dunks, blocking shots, stuff like that. So having his thumb be an issue is definitely an issue, right? But all in all, I think we'll be okay. I think we can weather the storm. I don't think we need to like rush him back. Obviously, if he can come back and be healthy, be 100%, then I'm all for it. He's definitely a player I think we need. We definitely need the size, because we're already really short on the wing and the perimeter, and to have him with sides that is actually a pretty mobile center, it helps. It helps at least disrupt. And that's the problem, is we don't really have, we're very limited on just disruptors and length. And I think our center position is what gives us an advantage over most teams. Like the Warriors and the Clippers, like our size is an advantage, right? Because they don't have like a bunch of centers. They don't have a bunch of big men, especially like the Warriors. Clippers, they have Zoo, and outside of Zubac, like that's it. Like they got 2 rookies. Like, so I don't think like we're worried about that. Like Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, and Anthony Davis should be eating Zoo alive. I mean, Zoo's solid, don't get me wrong, but these guys are just so much more hyper athletic and just things like that they can just really, they can really kind of give it to Zoo. And then, for the Warriors, you're talking about Kevon Looney. Like I'm not worried about him. Like, look, he's solid. He's a great rebounder and he plays big for his size, but we should be able to eat him. Same thing with Wiseman. Like Wiseman is a rookie. They should be able to eat him. I know he's not a rookie, but he didn't play last year, so he's a rookie. But Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant with Anthony Davis and Winning Gabriel and all these guys, like we should be feasting on the boards and just in the paint against those teams. And it's just so I do think that we need Thomas Bryant. Like I don't think we can afford to just not have him or him missing ample time or anything like that. But I definitely think he's a guy that like it's not like a huge detriment. Like I don't think like that's it. Pack up the Lakers season because he's out for a month. But it's just it's the combination of guys, right? Because it's Schroeder. We know Schroeder's missing a month. Now Thomas Bryant's missing a month. We still don't know. It's still weeks away from Troy Brown Jr., right? So it's like we're already, I mean, luckily I do think this team is really deep. I think we're legitimately like 13 to 15 guys deep, right? Questions about, Matt Ryan and questions about Max Christie. But outside of them, I really think like everybody on this team can play some minutes. I don't think, I mean, if like, if most, like if some of these guys are playing 40 minutes a game, you're probably in trouble. But like we have several guys that like, if they're playing 10 to 15 minutes a game, then they're giving us great production and great value for that time. And I think that we have a lot of guys on this team that like could give us great 10 to 15 minute spots. And so I don't think a couple injuries here and there are going to hurt. I just worry that, if we have too many key injuries at one time, I think it could hurt. Again, better early than late, but we got such a tough opening to our season. I mean, our first 5 games are the Warriors, the Clippers, the Blazers, the Nuggets, and then the Timberwolves. So, I mean, 4 out of 5 games are against probably the top 4 or 5 seeds in the West. I mean, we're already playing the top 4 to 5 teams in the Western Conference this season early on. And then, the Blazers, I think we should get that win at least, but this could go south very quickly. Now, I don't think it will. I actually think the Lakers are going to be better than people think. I actually think the Lakers are going to beat the Warriors tonight. And we'll see. We'll see if that moment in this video ages well or not. But I do. I think that they get the job done. I think that they win tonight. But we need guys that can be healthy. I think that I think we get 50 to 55 wins. But health is going to be a huge factor. We're already seeing our big three of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook are already on the probable. They're on the injury report as probable. All of them are dealing with injuries. Like, and it's just like we haven't played a game yet. You know, we haven't played a regular season game yet, and we're already seeing all these significant injuries and all of those things. Like, that's not good. That's not, that's not what you want to see from this team. We can't afford that. We're not that good. I think we're better than people think. I think we're a very solid team. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. But I don't think we're so good we can afford to have, 3 or 4 rotation guys off the out on injuries for a month. Because Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder and guys like that, they're going to be quality rotation guys, and they'd be quality rotation guys on any team. So, again, that's a solid piece. Like, many teams wanted Dennis Schroeder, other teams wanted Thomas Bryant because they are legit rotation guys. Thomas Bryant was a starter and putting up great stats. So, if it wasn't for injury, who knows what would have happened? He might have been out of reach for us if he didn't get injured. Like, that was kind of our way to get him for as cheap as we did. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of Thomas Bryant's injury? Do you think that this is a huge impact? Do you think it's not? Is this shocking? Is this surprising to you? Were you like, no way, like I didn't see that coming? Do you think it's weird that him and Dennis Schroeder both have like the same injury? But however you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. So let me know down in the comment section below.